Welcome to Learned and Go-Go, the podcast. Hey, it is Thursday, and I am your host. I'm Sydnee A. I'm here with another awesome episode of Learned in Go-Go, the podcast. And I once again want to thank everybody that joined me last week when I was just in a cranky mood and not really feeling that great. And you guys turned my entire night around. So thank you so much. I am really hoping that we get a bunch of you to hop back on here again tonight. If you are on, say hey in the comments so I can see who is joining me tonight. I love seeing all of you guys and hearing what you're up to. So if you weren't aware, I am the author of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go, How a Preacher's Daughter Pole Danced Her Way to Finding Her True Self. Hey, Kyler's on. Hey, buddy. Thank you so much for hopping on. I know Kyler from Saturday nights. I do a podcast with Reaper and Human the Hooked Beast called The Goddamn Program. So please, please, please go check me out over there too. We have a ridiculously crazy time. It's shenanigans. That's the only way to describe Saturday nights is it's shenanigans. But if you haven't yet, I would love if you picked up a copy of my book, which you can do at learnedingogo.com, and it's available in paperback and ebook. But I want to know what you guys are up to. How has your week gone? Yes, Kyler says it's a moist time. If you don't know what that means, you'll have to go Saturday nights. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I hope you've had a fantastic week since I saw you last. It's been kind of crazy over here. I can't believe it's August already, first of all. Like, does anybody else feel like it hits July 4th and then summer's over? Like, where did the last month go? It's absolutely insane. It's flown by, and where I live, it's been stupid hot out. So it's been a lot of dealing with heat and humidity and craziness. That's why I got my hair up. It's going to be 110 in this room by the time the podcast is over. But it's just been like a crazy summer this year. But that being said, I've had a lot of fun, like doing some fun things and going to, I've hit a couple concerts, been to the movies, done Rocky Horror Picture Show a couple times. So it's been like a pretty fun summer. I've been like enjoying that. And I'm so sorry. Kyler's got to go to the evil DMV. That is the worst. It's the worst. Why do they make it so painful to just go to the DMV? There's got to be a better way. At least when I moved to Pennsylvania from New Jersey, the DMV here isn't as painful as it is in New Jersey. Like, you can actually renew your license, and if you don't need a new picture, you can just do it by mail. It's so easy. And New Jersey, it's like they want your firstborn and a blood sample, and you sit there for hours and hours and hours, and it's just so frustrating. So good luck, Kyler. I hope it is it's painless for you. I want to give a shout out to Johnny. If you guys have not caught up with the mini series that I am doing with him, it is called Necro Fiends of the Frozen Dead, and we celebrate 25 years of Johnny's comic series, which is so, so cool. I actually can, nope, I can't throw that up on this one, but check out his comic series with Johnny Necro, Frozen Dead, and check out our mini series about it. It's a lot of fun. I've been meeting so many super cool people, and we put out one episode a week, so definitely check that out. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I want to say hi. Hi to Jen. Jen has some stories. Just got out of the movies with Anne waiting on a pizza, says Johnny. I had pizza for dinner myself. So I hope that you enjoy yours as much as I enjoyed mine. And I want to say hi to Mark as well. Kicking ass said, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that very much. I'm so happy to see so many of you joining tonight. As per usual, we are just going to see where we go. Like I say, when I do people for the mini series for Johnny, I say it's a conversation, not an interrogation. So we're going to see where the conversation leads us tonight. Kyler says that he had chicken with tomatoes and chives on top. That sounds delicious. It's almost like a bruschetta chicken. What did you guys have for dinner? Let's go down that road. Let's see what everybody had for chicken. It's not even that late yet. See what everybody had for dinner tonight. We ordered out from this local place, so I tried their white pizza for the first time. It was really good. And they have these things called pepperoni logs. I was intrigued, of course. And it's almost like a spring roll, but it's pepperoni pizza inside. Pretty damn good. Not that great for my waistline, but it was delicious. Oh, Paul had breakfast for dinner. That's always delicious. I love breakfast for dinner. I haven't done that in a long time. Oh, Jen's drinking wine for dinner. I'm going to cheers that. There you go. Cheers to that. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it was really, really good. If you're talking about my pepperoni pizza logs there, Kyler, they were pretty yummy. And yay, cheers. Everybody cheers. I don't care if you're drinking a grown-up drink or a glass of water. Let's all cheers to Thursday. It's Friday Eve. So that is awesome. I like to cook. I don't know if you guys like to cook out there too. And in this time of year, I love grilling. I love grilling everything from veggies. Like, it doesn't just have to be the meat, but there's so many really good recipes out there. I'm sorry. Paul asked, logs? Yes, it's pepperoni pizza logs. That's what it's called. I do not make up the name. I just eat them, and they're delicious. But yeah, I like trying different recipes and different seasonings. And I really like doing like zucchini on the grill. That's like something that just tastes like summer when you do that. And, like the chicken legs, that's what we were supposed to have for dinner tonight, but I didn't take them out of the freezer long enough. So they were still frozen solid, hence pizza night. But what's something that do you like to grill? Are you like scared to grill? I would not light the gas grill for years. I was so afraid I was going to like woof my eyebrows off. Like charcoal is perfect for me because with my ADHD, I would light the charcoal and go fuck off and do something. And by the time I was like, oh yeah, the charcoals were perfect, because you can't cook on that too quickly. But the gas grill I was scared of for a long time. And then it's probably been about 10 years ago now, I decided that I could put on my big girl pants and do it. And now I think I'm pretty good with the grill. So let's see. Jen says, I've learned to like to cook, love my slow cooker recipes, and grill in the summer. Yeah, slow cooker in the winter, grill in the summer. And she also says she was scared to grill, but now she's comfortable too. And it's funny, like it's just that clicking or like lighting and just being afraid, boom, like something about that can of gas is just scary when you're not used to it yet. So Kyler says, I know a place where they stuff bread with tomatoes, cheese, grilled skillet peppers, and pepperoni, and you dip it in marinara sauce. I want to know that place. Please share that information. That sounds delicious. Paul's wife is the queen. She does it all, and he is spoiled. Very nice. And Kyler loves grilling chicken and hamburgers. You cannot go wrong with chicken and hamburgers. And I love like trying out different ways to make burgers too. This summer, I've been all about Montreal steak seasoning burgers. And it was just something in the cabinet when I was making burgers. I'm like, throw that in there. Sometimes it's, like different kinds of barbecue sauce, or sometimes it's, I don't know. You can't go wrong with garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. That's like, it's not a trifecta because there's four. Would that be a quadfecta? of seasonings. That's really good too. I love a good burger. I love lots of cheese on my burger. I love all kinds of cheese. So you can put any kind of cheese on a burger, I think is a good idea. So what do you guys put in your burgers? Or do you have any, are there any vegans watching? Because like some of the vegan burgers aren't bad, but I like a good beef burger myself. And then there was one I used to make years ago that had jalapenos and cheddar cheese in it. I think that might have, I think that was a beef burger. I was going to say, I think that might have been a turkey burger, but that was really banging too. Just enough of a kick, to be delicious without burning your face off. So that's pretty good too. And like you guys were saying about chicken, I like the chicken breast on the grill. Chicken legs can be kind of tricky on the grill because it's hard to keep the temperature consistent. But there's, chicken on the grill is good. I'm not that great with fish. Dave's a good fish griller. I don't know. I'm not that great unless I do the foil pack. The foil pack is the way to go with fish because then it doesn't get stuck and it doesn't fall through. Ooh. Paul says he stuffs them with chopped jalapeno, cream cheese, and cheddar. Damn, that's schmancy. That is hashtag schmancy, my friend. That sounds delicious. Jen says, Williams Sonoma seasoning burger bomb and cheese. Yes, my hubby is master on the grill with chicken. I believe that. I know your husband. I can see him being the chicken grill master for sure. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, now I'm hungry again. Talking about that. One other thing that's like definitely a summer food is when you take the tomato and the mozzarella and the basil and do the balsamic, is that caprese? Oh, I can tear that up. Especially with good old Jersey tomatoes. There is nothing in the world like a New Jersey tomato in the summertime. So that sounds, I wish I had some of that right now. Oh, the Luna Projects is checking in with here in Cincinnati at Jungle Gyms. You can get ground camel and it's good for burgers. But I love the Wagyu burger with bacon, onion, heirloom tomatoes, mustard, and pickles. I would be about that. That sounds really, really good. And Kyler says chicken thigh and hamburger stuffed with cheese slices topped with proper queso cheese sauce. Damn. This conversation, I think I gained 10 pounds just reading you guys' comments. This sounds really, 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 really good. Awesome. Oh, yes. Summer is all about the tomato sandwich, too. I love, again, Jersey tomato, mayo, American cheese, white bread. So good. So good. It reminds me of growing up. Yep. Me too, Paul. Paul says he's getting so hungry now and he's full. Me too. I ate pizza and pepperoni pizza logs. And I'm so hungry now reading you guys' comments. That is awesome. And of course, summer also means fire pit, camping, weenie roast, s'mores. I don't do sweets, but I know my kids love, love, love s'mores. So that sounds really, really, really good too. Oh, nice thick slice with pepper. I'm guessing we're talking about tomatoes still. And you're right, you have to have the pepper too. Salt and pepper is key to a tomato sandwich. That is awesome. Paul's still laughing at pizza logs. I'm telling you, Paul, I'm going to give you the information of this place because I believe that they are near where you live as well. Oh my gosh. Luna Project says, I had pizza too. It's like Pizza Thursday around here. We're all eating pizza. Let's say, and Jen's love me a fire. Yes. Yes. I wish we lived closer so we could have fire pits all the time. Because for those of you who don't know, this is one of my besties from growing up and I miss her. She lives too far away now. So she needs to move closer so we can hang out. Okay, Kyler, he likes a good Spam sandwich with aged white cheese. Okay, the aged white cheese, I like how that gives the pinkies up to your Spam sandwich. And I'm not against Spam sandwiches. I grew up on Spam. I used to make mac and cheese with Spam and peas all the time. And we used to do the Spam burgers on the grill or on the Coleman stove when we were camping. So I'm not a Spam hater. My belly does not like it anymore. Like I tried to eat it a couple years ago and I thought I was going to die. So have a Spam sandwich for me because my stomach is just like not having it anymore. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Paul says, awesome, spam, 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 spam. I love it. Love Monty Python. Great quote. That's so funny. What's something you guys used to eat all the time that now that you're older, you just can't handle? You don't have to get into the details of how you can't handle it, but like with me with the Spam, I loved it. And now I just can't do it anymore. Let's see. The Lunar Project says she made boneless country-style pork ribs in the slow cooker and baked Japanese yams last night. I had no idea you guys were also schmancy. That sounds delicious. Baked Japanese yams. I don't know what a Japanese yam is, like why it is different than the yams I get near me, which is not Japan. So is there a difference between a Japanese yam and I guess it's an American yam? I don't know where my supermarket gets its yams. They could be from South America. I have no idea. Let's see. Oh no, Paul can't have bread gravy anymore. I'm sorry. That kind of, there's different levels of acidity in that though. So I wonder if like you might be able to have certain kinds, but not other kinds. I would experiment with that one because that's like so good. Luna Projects can't do bologna sandwich anymore. I think bologna and Spam, it's kind of like we're in the same family of foods we had to give up because it's like the processed pork. Okay, so Japanese yams are less sweet. That makes sense. Gotcha. Hi, Dustin. I'm so glad you're here to bust my balls. He said one has the word Japanese in the name. Thank you. And then he says one is a bit sweeter. That's hilarious. Oh, okay. So the Japanese yams are the ones that are white on the inside. I know what you're talking about now. I'll have to try them because I like yams. Let's see. And Kyler says that he has a condition where I can eat certain fruits and vegetables like carrots and kiwi. Wait, maybe you can't eat certain vegetables like carrots and kiwi and you get physically sick. I'm sorry. That's awful. I'm so sorry. It's odd because for, eating certain things my whole life, and then I think it was when I followed a nutrition plan in 2018 before Dave and I got married, and I restricted what I was eating. I was eating healthy foods, but I ate the same things day in and day out, and it's like my body won't tolerate them anymore. Like I kind of burnt myself out on them, and one of them's spinach, and I love spinach. But if I try to make an egg scramble with spinach in it, forget it. And it's strange. It never bothered me before. Jen can't eat pineapple. It gives her a migraine. I'm sorry. That sucks. Pineapple's good. And is it like all pineapple? Like you can't have a pina colada? Oh, Dusty. Yeah, somewhere Popeye is crying. Man, I'm crying. I love spinach. And especially in a scramble. Like I can have like a spinach salad, but the cooked, going from fresh to cooked, something happens. Either that or I'm just eating too much of it because my body's like, yeah, no, don't need that. And eggs are another thing, and I love eggs. So I eat them anyway because I'm a rebel like that. Oh, okay. Jen said in small doses, it's fine, the pineapple. So that's good because pineapple's good like with ham. You can have like ham. You can have like ham and pineapple, or like I said, pina colada. That's pretty good too. So is there anything that you guys like wouldn't eat on a bet? Even if like you could eat it, is there something that's just like, forget it, not going to try it ever? Or is there something that you used to have to eat when you were a kid that now that you're a grown up, you won't ever eat again because you're in charge? All right. So Paul says snails. I actually tried escargot last year for the first time in San Antonio. It was not that bad. I was surprised. I don't know that I would hunt it down and eat it, like, if it wasn't right there at the little the hell's the word I'm thinking of? The tapas restaurant we went to. Um, One of the things that my friend ordered was escargot. So I was like, well, do you mind if I try it since it's right there? I wouldn't have ordered it for myself. And I agree with Jen with liver. I haven't had it since I was a kid, and I have no desire to ever have it again. So, yep. Paul said, really? Yep. Let's see. Dustin says that he used to be pretty open minded with food, tried bugs, different animals. Italy many years ago tried cow's brain, tasted like seafood. Interesting. That's another thing I don't see myself trying, but I don't know. I wouldn't have guessed it tastes like seafood though. So that's very interesting. And bugs. I was watching a show earlier, and one of the dares was that the guy had to eat a scorpion. And I'd be afraid because, like, aren't they venomous? Or are they venomous but not poisonous? I don't know. I figure we all eat a certain amount of bugs before we die from sleeping with our mouths open, and when you're driving or riding your bike and one flies into your mouth. So there's worse things to eat than bugs, I guess. Luna Project says, hate black olives, green olives, lima beans, and sauerkraut. I love black olives and green olives, and I like sauerkraut. And lima beans are okay. My youngest used to call them slime beans. So anytime I see lima beans, I think of her saying, I don't like slime beans. Paul says, I have my own liver, don't need to eat anyone else's, not even with a side of fava beans and a Chianti. Where's your sense of adventure? Luna Project says, bugs, no way. That's it. And like I said, I don't think, well, no, I'm lying because I have had chocolate covered ants and I've had a chocolate covered grasshopper. And I bought, it was like little seasoned dried up larva. And I was going to try it, but then I pussed, so I didn't try it. And my neighbor came over, and I don't think she knew they were actual larvae. I think she thought they were just shaped like it. So she was like chowing on them. I'm like, that's like real bug eggs, right? Like, whatever, if you're enjoying them. But yeah, like I guess it would depend on the situation and the bug. Because there's some like the Lion King that's like squishy but or slimy but satisfying, And then there's others that like if it's just like an ant, are you really even going to know? Dustin says, I respect that different parts of the world use all the animal and not waste. You can eat scorpion, and there are even chocolate covered ones. Yes, I agree with that. I do like that the entire animal is used. I could see me having the organs and all more like in a stew than like a side of brain. Like, I'm also big on not eating something that looks like it did when it was up and about. So I'd need it more like hidden because I picture Indiana Jones, with the monkey's brains and the snake's surprise. Like when I think of eating things like from other countries, that's immediately where my mind goes. But that being said, I've had ostrich, I've had alligator, I've had, I'm an adventurous eater. I have food allergies, so I can't have certain shellfish and stuff like that. But I'll try just about anything as long as it's not like looking at me while I'm going to eat it. Let's say. Kyler says he follows the rules of Andrew, I guess, Zimmerman. If it looks good, eat it. There you go. As long as you're not using that for like a Jeffrey Dahmer approach. I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay, Paul might have liver if it comes with Chianti. We'll get you drunk enough to eat that liver, my friend. It's okay. Skillet cooked ants, such a good snack, says Kyler. I could honestly see something like that getting crispy, crunchy, and you wouldn't remember that it had legs. I don't know. The Luna Project says, I like chicken pate and use turkey liver in dressing during Thanksgiving, but not a fan of beef liver. I imagine like a turkey liver's like yay big and a beef liver's like, so there's a difference in texture and and again, mixing it in the dressing. You're not going to, it's not like when, you're a kid and here's your liver and onions and the whole plate's covered with just that. Dustin says he went to a program years ago all about bug eating. It was fascinating, plus many places around the world eat bugs as a regular part of cultural meal experience. I don't eat living things anymore though, lol. And I know this because when I was at Tripathon and I got to meet Dustin in person, he got the vegan sloppy Jose, and it smelled so good that I also got the vegan sloppy Jose. So I respect what everybody's choices are, and I like that they had so many things available at Trimathon that there was really something for everyone there, which was really, really cool. But yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I know cricket protein's getting really popular. So you can buy like bags of cricket flour and they're like making things out of it because it's a really easily sourced protein. I'd probably try it if I didn't know that that's what it was at first. But if it's like you got cricket bread, who knows? It's flour, who cares? Paul says scrapple. I love scrapple. I will eat me some scrapple, but I like it real thin and like fried crispy. So it's like a scrapple chip. I don't like when you go to the diner and you get like that loaf of scrapple that they basically dipped in the deep fryer so the whole inside's mush and the outside's that's not how I like my scrapple. I like it super thin, really crispy. Okay, Jen says, do you know what the safest thing to eat in nature is? Like if you're stranded in the woods? That's a good question. Because you don't know, like, unless you've studied it, what kind of berries might be poisonous or if there's like, I don't know. Let us know what the answer is. Lunar Project is guessing berries. Dustin's got to go. So good night. Thank you so much for hopping on. It was great to see you on here. And thanks for hopping into the comments and letting us know about bug eating. I love that you know this stuff. That's really cool. Let's see. Paul says yum scrapple loaf. It's a texture thing. It tastes good. I just don't like the moosh. So Jen said eggs. So I guess like if you find a bird's nest and eat the bird egg, that's like the safest thing to eat. And I guess it would be a good source of protein too. That's interesting. Hopefully I never have to rely on that information, but you never know. So that's very cool. Because I was just thinking, I'm like different plants, unless you know for sure what's safe, you could get really sick. But no, that's great. And like I don't see me catching any sort of animal in the woods to eat it. I think it would like kick my butt. So hi Michelle. Michelle Turnbull's hopping on here too. It's good to see you, sweetie. Thank you for hopping on. Luna Project says technically worms. Okay, so worms are safest to eat, and then eggs, or if you get the eggs right when mama bird's coming back, maybe you can get both. That would be kind of cool. That's a twofer. Luna Project says Bear Grylls had that on his show. Okay. Am I pronouncing his last name right? I know who it is. I can picture it. I just don't know how to say his name. And Paul says, agreed, I'd struggle mentally eating a wild bird egg. If I was hungry enough, I would Rocky that shit. I'd just be like, raw eggs. Oh, wouldn't even think about it. Wrecked his leg. Is it Grillis? Is that how you say it? Bear. I know his name. I just don't know how to pronounce it. We should probably all know more of this because the way that things are going and the way that like everything's heating up, I could see. I don't know. You know what? I'm not even put it in the universe. But should we ever need to forage our own food, then we should all know this stuff, I think. Jen says, if I had a fire going over easy. There you go. I wasn't thinking that I would have those supplies actually if I was lost in the woods. But you never know. You could have like when I was in Girl Scouts and we had the thing that was like the frying pan and it had the silverware in it and like a little net bag to wash it all in. It was like the all-in-one John. That would have been pretty cool to have. Luna Project says there are dandelion greens and clover. See, I wouldn't know you could eat clover. Dandelion greens, yes, but I would not know to eat clover. And she said, and other things I got used to finding in woods. Cool. Very good to know. That's super cool. Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, if I'm hungry enough, I'd probably eat bark. Like whatever. If you're hungry enough, you need to do what you can do. Yes, and she also says go fishing if you're by a lake or river. That's a good point too. It's funny. I remember camping when I was growing up, and we were at this one campground called Turkey Swamp in Jersey. And this guy was out there, and he had like the fish, super nice fishing pole and his schmancy tackle box, and the bait and the lures, and like all the different stuff. And he had his hat, with the hook on it, and he was all didn't catch a thing. This kid comes up with a literal branch with a string and a hook with a piece of Wonder Bread and was like, fish were just coming out. I'm like, see, it's not about spending money to do this. Like the fish like the Wonder Bread, I guess. So you don't have to have like super duper equipment to go fishing successfully. Paul says it becomes Hannibal Lecter. There, we're back to that again with the Chianti. Enough Chianti, you'll eat anything, I think. I think some guys on here might have this story. Kidding. Um, but yeah, it is good to have like at least a basic knowledge of survival skills for like if you ever were in that situation. And you honestly like can surprise yourself when you haven't been in a situation before and then you find yourself in that situation. That's when you really like your instincts come out. So I think we might be better off than we think we would be in that situation just out of necessity. So that's pretty cool. Oh, Paul says he's a wine fan. I want to be a wine fan. I actually own many, many bottles of wine. Wine goes right to my head, man. And it's a different kind of buzz than like this is my 3 Olives vodka and Polar sparkling water. This is what I drink. It's a familiar friend. I know what to expect. But wine, for some reason, different types even make it worse. Like maybe it's because I'm used to having several glasses of a drink and I'm not used to just sipping like on a glass of wine. I don't know, but I have a whole bunch of bottles I could try again. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'm laughing because Jen said when you find a camper with a bloody mattress in the closet, don't forget the knife in the drawer. When we were teenagers, we went to Christian camp and we decided to go exploring. Oh, she said inside story. Should I not tell her inside story? Or is it okay if I tell her inside story, Jen? Oh, the Luna Projects also has a good bit of wine. That's cool. I like to collect the nice labels. And I have a bottle of vampire wine I got in New Orleans in the 90s that it's probably like glorified grape juice, but I like the bottle and I'll probably never open it. And I have like a Grateful Dead bottle and I have, like different kinds of stuff. So those are just for decoration. But then I do have like Mommy's Time Out that Dave got me because of the name. And stuff like that I probably would try. But the Luna Projects was a wine consultant. Girl, okay, first you can tell us how to survive in the woods and what kind of wine to pair with our survival. That's amazing. Okay, so I got the green light to to share the camper and the bloody mattress story. So, okay, rewind. We were at Christian camp in high school, and we decided to go out exploring, and we came upon like a trailer camper, and it wasn't that big. I don't think it was a pop up, but it was about the size of a pop. No, it wouldn't have been a pop up in the closet. So it was about that size. And of course, us being nosy teenagers, we like busted in because the door wasn't even locked. It was like hanging off. And so we go in the closet, there was stuffed a bloody mattress, and then there was a knife. And we just like beat feet out of there because we were like, what the hell happened here? We like happened upon a murder scene. That freaked us out, man. But I can't even picture anything else that was in that camper. Like if there was anybody's clothes or food, like I don't recall any of that. I can very clearly see the closet with the mattress leaning up against it and the blood stains on it. And it was like a serrated, nasty old knife. And that's all I can remember. If you have any other details that you remember, Jen, but that was like freaking us out. It was empty. Okay. Yeah. She says it was empty. That's what I was thinking too. But I mean, why would you like kill somebody and then hang out, right? It's freaking crazy. Yikes. Okay. So back to the wine discussion. Paul's asking, what kind of wine goes well with robins, eggs, and scorpions? And Jen says, any. I guess if you drink enough, then you don't care that you're eating robins, eggs, and scorpions. That's hilarious. Yes, let's see. We didn't pull it out to check. Oh, the mattress. I was like, what was going on in the trailer I wasn't aware of? Who's pulling stuff out? Yeah, that was like very, very creepy. And I always wondered, like, I wanted to know the background of what we happened upon, but nobody, and like the adults that were there weren't concerned enough to call anybody because obviously we came back freaked out by what we found. And you would think if they thought there was actually like danger, they'd alert the police or something. But I don't know. Never know what you're going to find in the woods. You could find a bloody mattress. You could find a bottle of Chianti just waiting for a scorpion. Paul's asking, no bodies? Did they slaughter a checks or something? Slaughter a what? Chicken. Ah, that was supposed to say chicken. I don't know. Would you need a mattress for your satanic sacrifices? Or is that like Santeria with the chicken? Or is that goats? I'm not sure who specifically would be slaughtering chickens. If you know, put it in the comments because I'd love to learn. But no, I wouldn't think like if you're cutting up a chicken for dinner or something, you'd do it on a mattress and then pop the mattress in the closet. At least clean up after yourself. That's how you get salmonella. Sound mattress. Safety first, soft landing. What are you doing with that chicken? Oh my God. But yeah, we also, I remember, had a discussion of whether we thought the knife was bloody or rusty. And I think we decided it was both because that was just a nasty knife. Have you guys ever happened upon anything that you thought was a crime scene or like have a story from your teenage years or, that seems to be when we go out exploring and finding this stuff is like, I don't know if it's because we have more time when we're teenagers or like we know better now than to go breaking into campers. Like we do have photo evidence, Jen says. That's right. We got to find that. If we can find that, we'll put it in the comments because that's hilarious. Yeah, I have to go through my old photos. But that seems like a lot of the stories of doing really stupid shit is from when you're a teenager. So if you're willing to share, I'd love to hear your teenage shenanigans stories in the comments because I know Jen and I got into some. I don't know how much we're going to share. There's also plenty of shenanigans I share in the book. So if you haven't yet, get your copy at learnedandgogo.com, because I do share a lot of stories in that. Let's see, lots of crazy stuff under the railroad tracks. So the town where Jen and I lived had a railroad bridge, and we used to hang out under there. And then there was also a place that we referred to as Hell. And that was an underground, was it an old train station, or it was like an old, like a tractor trailer that was buried? All I remember is it had an like an incline that you'd have to shimmy down to get down into it, and it would go like 5 or 6 feet underground, and then it was just a giant rectangle. And our dumbasses would go down there and smoke, and like there's not a whole lot of ventilation, so you're gonna, and then you'd have to go down there with somebody else because you'd have to push the one person out so that they could then pull you out, because there wasn't enough traction to make it back up the wall because it was that far down. We were asses. What were we thinking? Again, dumb teenage brains. The Luna Project says, abandoned cabin by my uncle's family cabin, just creepy with stained mattress. See, stained mattresses are a theme. Creepy stained mattress. Okay, all of my movie making friends, you could just have like the bloody mattress. That can be like your next scary film, because you could do any storyline to get to the bloody mattress. And that just, I swear to God, every day I am reminded of a line from SpongeBob. I will never for the rest of my life have a day where I don't quote SpongeBob at least once, because that in my head turned into, it's the haunted mattress. Now he's the haunted sleeping bag from the SpongeBob Halloween episode. Paul says, Chianti on the mattress. That's funny. I have like wine and blood, blood and wine. Let's see. Paul, do you have any scary stories? Did you ever happen upon a bloody mattress somewhere? I'm trying to think where else Jen and I used to hang out by the railroad tracks, because that's, I remember Hell and the railroad bridge. But then there was a spot in the woods that had a name as well, and I can't remember what we used to call that. But it seemed like our teenage years were just found like spending time finding places to hide and smoke, like that. Because sit around and talk. You didn't even really need anything to entertain you, because we all entertained each other. And I think the kids coming up now are missing out on that in a lot of ways, because they don't, you know, and I'm generalizing, I'm sure some kids do, but the whole like going to your friends and then walking around and just talking, or like going and finding a hangout spot to just like hang out and talk about your life and the world. It's all text now, it's all online. And I kind of feel bad that they don't have those memories, because that was a lot of fun. It's like, stupid as some of the decisions were that we made, that's all just growing up. That's what you do at that age, is you make a lot of stupid decisions so that you know who you are. And it was a like really like fun time. Yeah, she said our rebellious time when we sat across the street. So obviously, as most parents are, my parents did not approve of me smoking as a teenager. So my dad used to tell us we weren't allowed to smoke on his property, to which I would respond, it's not your property, the church owns it. Anyway, smart ass teenage mouth. He would tell us that we had to go off the property to smoke. So we'd go stand across the street on the sidewalk like a bunch of tool pantses, because we weren't allowed to smoke on his property. So yeah, that was a big thing. And if he ever found cigarette butts on his property, he would stick them in my pillowcase or in my purse, but he would wait until it rained, and then I'd get to school and I'd open my purse and it'd be full of like wet cigarette butts. So wonder where I get my smart assness from, Luna Project says, got chased off this guy's property for trespassing and stealing his raspberries, which were big and delicious. He shot a gun in the air and we ran away. Jesus. He shot a gun in the air because you touched his berries. Wow. They must have been some big, delicious raspberries for him to get that upset about it. Dang. I'm glad you're okay and he only shot it in the air and not at you. That's crazy. I don't think I ever got chased off of somebody's property for. No, I'm lying. I'm lying. Um, there was a time we had a contest to see how many pumpkins we could appropriate. Um, yeah, and I got chased. And I was carrying the pumpkin, and it was right after I broke a vertebrae in my back, so I wasn't supposed to be lifting anything. And he chased me, and instead of dropping the pumpkin and running, I just waddled faster because I stupid teenager. I apologize to anybody who was uh, negatively affected by my stupid teenage brain. I apologize because that was, oh my goodness, some of the stupid shit we did. But at least it, like in the big scheme of things, it wasn't like super harmful. So that's good. She says it was worth it. Those were some big, juicy raspberries. They were moist. Oh, Paul has a big story. Let's see Paul's story. Me and some of my friends used to love visiting ghost hunting in graveyards. This one night we were hunting and we started hearing a sound. So, of course, we went towards it. Suddenly, this thing jumped out from behind a gravestone. While we all hit the highest falsetto, it was a rabbit. We had to turn in our man cards for a few weeks after that. That is hilarious and absolutely something that would happen to me. My friend and I, when we were camp counselors, there was one week where we had off for the week because the camp that was coming in was bringing their own counselors. But we were both dating the lifeguards, so we didn't want to be home for the week. We wanted to be at camp. So we went across the lake and set up. And what the funniest thing I remember from this story, aside from what I'm about to tell you, is we were packing our food for the week. And, we had like cans of beef stew and like, I forget what other cans of stuff we had and like crackers and everything. And my mom's like, do you have everything you need? And we're like, yeah, I think we're good. And here's my mom with the can opener. We're like, oh yeah, that would probably be helpful with all of our canned food. So we go and we sneak around the lake and we set up the tent. And so we decide we're going to sneak to camp, to visit our guys. And it's pitch black out. And we're walking the path and we pass the one porta potty right when an acorn, must have been an acorn, fell and hit it, scared the poop out of it. We went running, screaming, totally blew any cover that we had because like this acorn scared the shit out of us. So I will not make fun of you for your rabbit. At least yours was like a living thing. Mine was a falling nut on a porta potty. So it happens. Yes. Jen says, it's just a fluffy bunny. I can just see the Monty Python. Yeah. Oh, just a harmless little old bunny, eh? That's awesome. That rabbit's dynamite. Hilarious. Yeah. I have some stories that, do not make me out to be the bravest, toughest chick in the world. And I'm okay with that because sometimes I'm a puss. It happens. But especially when it's like pitch black and you're in the Pine Barrens. But I did grow up camping in the Pine Barrens and I have seen the Jersey Devil. No one can convince me otherwise. But I wasn't always like, every noise is the Jersey Devil. It didn't freak me out like that. But I think I was amped up because we weren't supposed to be there. So that had me on high alert. So when it was like, bang, it's scared. I'm like, they're shooting at us, but it's an acorn on a porta potty. It happens. I'm trying to think of some other stories of teenage shenanigans. So if you guys have some, put them in the comments. I love hearing your stories. This is fun. There's some, like I said, there's some stories in the book, so I'm purposely not telling those because I don't want to spoil. Paul said, I'm with you. I was a soldier and got the shit scared out of me by a fluffy bunny. I am a mystery. It happens, though. I mean, seriously. Anything that's, when you're on high alert, you were hunting in the graveyard. So all of your spidey senses were tingling. And then boom, I get it. I got your back. It's all good. Dun, 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 dun. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't remember like anything at home scaring me like that. Although when I lived in a different place, I remember like I had just visited my best friend in LA and I came back and like I was home alone and I looked out and the shed doors were open. And my dad always closed the shed doors. This was when I was still living with my parents. And nobody else is home. And I'm like, that's so weird. I'm like, I should just go close it. And then my brain started going like, well, what if somebody's in there? Blah, 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 blah. So I wound up calling the non-emergency number to say, like, my dad never leaves this unlocked. It's wide open. Like, that's unusual. Can you just come check it out and everything? So I came out, and of course there was nothing there. Shut the doors. Everything was fine. And a couple of days later, I was talking with my younger brother, and I was talking about, going to LA and like, driving around South Central and everything, because that's where she went to USC. So that's like where she was and all. And I was like, I think I could live out there. He goes, you can't hang with the shed in South Jersey. I was like, all right, that's fair. That's fair. But again, it's situational, like if it depends on where your mindset is at that moment. So Jen says, if only we had the Apple Watch back then, we walked everywhere. Yeah, we did. And Paul says, 25,000 steps easy. That is so true. We walked hours, like miles and miles all the time because like our parents didn't give us rides. Like unless it was to like youth group, if you wanted to go to your friends, you walked. If you wanted to go, like we'd go to the market, we'd walk, and it wasn't close, but we didn't care. We just would walk and talk and, dream. It was a good time. So it definitely got our exercise back then because I had a bike that I got in first grade and it got destroyed in like just me probably like riding into something when I was like 14 or 15. And my parents said they weren't going to buy me another bike because I'd be driving soon. So for a couple of years, I walked. And then I didn't have my own car until I saved up for it and bought it. So it wasn't that I could take my parents' car whenever I wanted to, so I was still walking even as an older teenager, like, junior year of high school or whatever, until I got my own car. So we walked a lot. And it was, didn't matter what the weather was. If you wanted to go bad enough, you were going to walk. Yep. Luna Project says, so true. Either walked or rode bike. Yep. Absolutely. And that was the way to get around. So Jen says, I miss that. Me too. It was a lot simpler. Why did we want to grow up so fast? It's like now looking back, we had it made when you think about it, But I love my life now, though. I'm very grateful. Very, very grateful. But yeah, I wish that I knew how much things were going to change, not just in my life, but in the world in general, as far as what a unique time we were living in, because we were kind of the last generation to do that before the electronics came in and kind of took over everything. So, but I'm grateful for that too, because that's how I know most of you, and that's how we're all talking tonight. So I'm not poo-pooing that at all. I'm very grateful for that too, because I love getting together with you guys. And I love that I have absolutely no idea what we're going to talk about. And I just like come on here and we just, see where it goes. It's fun. I love you guys. So let's see. Luna Project says, I used to go behind the house by the river and explore. Was that just like a neighbor's house? Was that an abandoned house? Or was it someone that you know? Because I know where I grew up in Burlington, our neighborhood had a creek that went behind it. I wasn't allowed in the creek. That's another story. But I remember going behind my brother's friend's house and exploring the woods back there. And it was always like such a gigantic adventure in our heads, like of where we were and what we were doing. And especially because back then, most TV shows involved the main characters winding up in quicksand. Like, what was that about? Whether it was the Dukes of Hazzard or Gilligan's Island, somebody was always in the quicksand. And so, like, when we were exploring, we'd have to be like, watch out, that's quicksand, you know. I don't think I've ever seen actual quicksand, but they made you think it was like going to happen in your life and you better be careful. But that's the only place I remember, like, it wasn't a river, it was just a creek. And the creek story, so we moved there when I was 8. And back, you know, we'd ride our bikes all the time. And we were told very explicitly not to go in the creek. What's the first thing I got to do, right? Got to kick off my shoes, go in the creek. Well, I stepped on a broken bottle and sliced the whole like top of like inside my toe. So it's bleeding, like, you know, squirting blood all over the place. So my older brother scoops me up, takes me back home, runs me in the house, you know, her toes bleeding, everything. Here comes my mom. She's bleeding on the new carpet. So once we realized that we needed to stay outside as to not ruin the carpet, I was taken to the hospital to get stitches. And we told my mom that I was riding my bike and I scraped it on the road. And then it was probably 30 years later the truth came out. And my mom was like, you lied to me. And I'm like, you cared more about your carpet. But yeah, that was like, it was one of those, okay, maybe I should have listened because that was a wicked injury to get. Let's see. The Luna Project says, I was an only child, so I only had my cat. Where my dad lives used to not have houses, but railroad tracks, lots of wild berries. Aw. Cats are awesome. I'm so glad you had your cat. Jen says that and stop, drop, and roll. I really thought I would catch on fire. Damn right. They drilled that into our heads. Like, you really thought that, like, at any moment you were going to spontaneously combust and you'd have to stop, drop, and roll. Excuse me. I definitely remember all of those videos. Let's see. Now, of course, they have a bunch of houses built along it. That's so true of everywhere. It's all built up now, and it's so hard to find spots of woods and fields, and it's kind of sad. They need to leave some areas alone. You know, it's not like trees and grass make anything useful like oxygen. So let's see here. Oh, Tanya, hi. Thanks for joining us. She says, quicksand was a childhood fear. Bills arriving in the mail is my adult fear. Amen. Amen to that, Tanya. That's so true. But it's funny, like the things that I used to be scared of, I had a recurring dream, and it's like really weird. I don't know why, of all the things, like, and I mean, I was little. I was probably like 4 or 5. And when I would lay in bed, I could hear my heartbeat, and it was, you know, really loud. And I would dream that it was a countdown, and if the like boom boom stopped, gorillas would come and attack my family. And it was a vivid dream of like them coming and like snatching my family away. And I have no idea where that would have even come from, but I can vividly remember that dream, and it was terrifying. Paul says, did you guys have to do under the desk drill in school? I think it was a nuclear drill or something. I was just about to say that. It absolutely was. During the Cold War, we were all taught to get under the desk because if they dropped a nuclear bomb, that would help. But yes, absolutely. They're saying, Jen says, Planet of the Apes. I have still never seen those movies. I'm wondering, honestly, was there a Gilligan's Island with a gorilla? Because Paul says, do you have a fear of grape ape? I do not have a fear of grape ape. Grape ape. I forgot about him. The Lunar Project says tornado drill. We didn't have them in New Jersey because back then we didn't have tornadoes, but they're there now. They've made their way. And Jen says, I love Grape Ape. Me too. Okay, Paul is confirming that there were gorillas on Gilligan's Island. That is the most likely place I would have probably seen a gorilla when I was that young, like on TV. I'm sure that we saw them at the zoo. But Tanya says we did under the desk drill for earthquakes in Ohio. In Ohio. Okay, that's something else that we only have new here on the East Coast, but I would think in Ohio you still don't have earthquakes. That doesn't make any sense. Wow. I guess maybe would they make like federal regulations and they don't attach common sense? So it's like required to do the drill, but they don't really think about the location. That's funny. Yeah, the other like back to Gilligan's Island. I don't know why I'm so fascinated with Gilligan's Island tonight. And Paul says, Skipper, there's a gorilla tearing off my arm. Oh, never mind that, Gilligan. That's so true. He always dismissed Gilligan. There was an episode where they went into the cave and it was a giant spider and he had like red eyes and it was like so fake and it was just don't. Like I can still picture the spider. I remember that when I was little. Jen says old TV was the best TV. Yes. And especially like if you were homesick from school and you got to watch the game shows and then it like in the middle of the day, it would either be Too Close for Comfort or It's a Living. Like those shows were on Three's Company, you know, like those were always on in the middle of the day back in the day, you know, after you watched The Price is Right and like Tic-Tac-Toe or The Joker's Wild, like all the old Press Your Luck. Those game shows were on too. And now they're like, they've replaced them with talk shows and stuff like that. But I used to love the game shows. I was on a game show, fun fact. Kicked ass too, won everything. Let's see. Paul says, just about as bad as the Jaws animatronic, or maybe worse. It was definitely worse than Bruce. It was 100% worse. It was so bad. Like I can picture it. I can almost like it was a step up from a sock. Like it was just a really bad. I don't know if it was a costume or a puppet, but the red eyes freaked me out. That and did you guys ever think like that cannibals were going to get you? Because they were in all the old TV shows too, like Gilligan's Island. Like they constantly were worried about the cannibals coming to get them. That's just odd. Like of all the things to focus on. Jen says she applied for You Can't Do That on Television, but didn't make it. I didn't know you could apply for that. You could have been on with Moose and Alanis. I forget who else was on You Can't Do That on Television. I remember them. But yeah, that was another good TV show growing up. And then, of course, there was Double Dare. And there was another one that was a house. It was like a 2-story house, and you'd go room to room and solve the puzzles. I can't remember what that was. The one I was on was called Think Fast. And you can actually see my episode is on YouTube. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a Nickelodeon game show. What was the one with the house? Dang it. It's going to bother me. If you know what it is, yeah, Paul says, Early Escape Room. You're on the right track because that is what it was. You'd have to like solve the puzzles in the different rooms. That's going to bug me. I'm going to Google that when we're done our chat tonight. But yeah, there were a lot of really fun game shows back in the day. And like, I still love Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. I watch them just about every night because it keeps the Alzheimer's away. And I enjoy solving puzzles. Like, and I love trivia. So they're right up my alley. I used to like Lingo for a little bit when Game Show Network was new. And what else is on? Now I like, I got into Claim to Fame out of nowhere because it came on after whatever it was I was watching. So now I've been like power watching the other seasons, trying to figure it out, like figure out who their claim to fame. I'm like, why is this on? Why wrapped up in this, but that's where my brain is now. But it's because I like problem solving. I like finding solutions. So let's see. Paul says, I watch American Dad every night. Wonder what that keeps away. That's what we watch Family Guy all the time. So same track. Um, but yeah, I do really enjoy trivia. Like I used to love Trivial Pursuit when that first came out, when I could get people to play board games with me. Um, and I just trivia in general, because I think I know about a lot of different subjects peripherally. Like I'm not really great at any particular thing, but I have a lot of random knowledge. So I think I'd be really good at Quizzo. I just, most of that time, those Quizzos at bars start too late because I'm an old person. So I I don't want to go out late. But if I could do Quizzo the home game, maybe we could all make a Kahoot and do a Quizzo together. That would be fun. Jen says, I was terrible at Trivial Pursuit, but love other games. Well, there's also different Trivial Pursuits too. Like we could always use the kids' cards for you. I'm kidding. But I remember trying to play it with my kids, and it was the version that came out, when I was a teenager. So they didn't get any of the references. And then we would play like a Nickelodeon trivia game, and they're kicking butt, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So it all depends on the subject matter too. You can get them for different time frames or different sort of thinking of like categories they are into. My favorite card game of the last few years is Cards Against Humanity, and I love that game, and I will be playing it in about a week and a half. And I am looking forward to it because my stomach hurts every time I play that game. I laugh so hard that I can't, it's like an ab workout. I just laugh so hard at that game. Jen says, you would love Name That Song. I would probably be good at Name That Song. That's, unless it's, I'm not that great at like hip hop rap stuff. Like if it's stuff that they would have played in go-go bars in the 90s and 2000s. But other kinds of music I'm pretty good at. So yes, and Jen says she loves Cards Against Humanity as well. I love that my kids are old enough now that they play it too. So we don't have to be like, get in the other room, the grown-ups are playing, because they're grown-ups now. But it's part of our shore week is that we make charcuterie, and I bring the charcuterie board that Jen gave to me. And we make that, and we sit around and we play Cards Against Humanity and get hammered and laugh our asses off. So it's a good time. Let's see. Paul says, love Cards Against Humanity. It always goes to a perverse adult level. My wheelhouse. Absolutely. That is the whole point of that game. And the Luna Project says, I love that, but I was in radio too and always loved music. Awesome. That's right. I forgot you were in radio. That is so awesome. And Jen says, no, it's like a card says, name a good date song. You find one on your phone to play, and there's a judge to pick. Oh, so that's like an actual game, not just a general name that song. Okay. I would love that. I like on the local radio station that I listen to. I love the morning program, Preston and Steve, and they play a game. They call it iPuss because it's like iPod. It's how long ago they started playing this. And what you do is you take your phone out and you put it on shuffle and you let it, like start playing, and you go through how many songs it takes until you get to one you would be embarrassed to blare at a red light with your windows down. And then that's like when you're out. So like you don't, with my phone, see, for me though, there's not a whole lot that I would care that the person in the car next to me hears me singing along to, but there's some weird stuff on my shuffle. So I always wanted to play iPuss. I think that would be a fun game to play as well. And Jen says, my shuffle is insane. You have heard my shuffle. We have played pool to my shuffle. And yep, Paul knows Preston and Steve too. Great radio show. It's a lot of fun. So I like that game. I wonder if they're going to play any segments of that this week because they're on vacation, so they're doing best of. So, and Jen says, rap, show tune, rock, oldies. Same. That's what mine is. And I don't think my friend Ren is on here, but her husband has a band called Breaker. It's Breakker. And if you like just pure rock, like think Judas Priest kind of vibe, they just released an album. You can stream it on Spotify. I listened to it today while I was working out, and I love it. They have a female vocalist, and her voice is insane. Like, really cool stuff. So since we're talking about music, I'm going to give Breaker a plug. Check them out. Yeah, it's really cool. I was glad I got the chance to listen to them today. And Paul says, variety is the spice of life. 'Tis true. We're back to spices. That's how this conversation started. What do you put in your burger? So anyway, guys, I think I am I could talk to you guys all night, but I need to wrap this up and get some more work done before I go to bed. But thank you all so much for hopping on here with me tonight. This was so much fun. I love you guys, and I love that you come and you support me on this podcast journey because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, but it's fun and I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad you are enjoying it with me. If you get a chance and you have not yet, please, not knock the microphone over. Please pick up a copy of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in GoGo. You can get it at learnedingogo.com. If you have gotten it, thank you. Please leave a review, rate 5 stars. Be fantastic. And tell your friends. Please share the love. And I'm going to do my best to be live every Thursday. If it doesn't work out and I have to do a recording, or like if I have a guest on and they aren't able to make the live, I would still want to be in your newsfeed every Thursday. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again next week. Have a great night, and remember, when life is throwing stuff at you, always take it head on, because if you stick your head in the sand and hide, you think you're hiding from the world's problems, but everyone else just sees a big ass. Love you guys.